Yo, it's Thomas Anthony from FinishBetterMusic.com, and today I'm going to show you a new way to put your kicks in key and gel them together in your mix using DJ Swivel's new plugin, Knocktonal. I'll also be showing you how to use this plugin to process the bass to achieve a new level of upper harmonics. And what that means is basically you'll be able to have a nice, clear, and thick sounding bass on laptop speakers and on earbuds. Okay, let's get into it, baby. First off, I'm going to start by explaining what the plugin is and what it does. Then I'm going to show you exactly how I would use it and utilize it in my tracks. And then I'm going to talk about exactly how I would use it to enhance bass, which I just kind of started fiddling around with things and discovered that it's a great way to increase the upper harmonics of a bass to get them to cut through like stereo speakers, computer speakers, and earbud speakers. It's a great way to get your bass sounding thick in the mix. So first off, I have this laid out here. So I just have a simple kick drum. It's from a Vengeance pack, and we can see that the kick is in F. They've labeled it in F. Now it's always good to double check what your kick is in before you actually, like when you're putting in your track. So you can check it out over here, and you just gotta basically drag your analyzer just down so you can see where the top frequency is, and we're gonna hit it, and it says it's hitting at G. So technically their labeling is wrong, so that's a good thing to notice. Now, if you were writing a song, you don't have to have it in the root note. So let's say I was writing a song in G, and because this kick's in G, the kick and the bass will be occupying the same frequency down here. So it's going to kind of gel together really easily and really nicely, and it'll give you a nice cohesive sound. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have the kick in the note of G. It has to be in the scale. So if it's out of the scale, then it's not great to be. It probably wouldn't sound that great. So it's good to have your kicks in key. So that what that means is just having it in the scale, the note of the kick being in the scale of the song. So with the cool thing about this plugin is that it uses different bands of frequency to enhance different frequencies of the initial sound. So typically, if I had a kick and I was like, okay, this kick is in F, or it's in G now that we want it in G, and we actually want it in F. So F is 2 semitones down from G. So all I would do is I would grab these and I would drop this down 2 semitones. So I'll only do the first two so that you can hear exactly what the difference is. So this one's normal, and then this one's down to the actual F. You can hear it's a slightly lower. Now, this is fine from what I've been researching and from my experience. This is fine from making tons and tons of music. I've noticed that you can go down about 2 or 3 semitones and things still sound okay. But when you start pitching stuff down like a lot more, it starts to degenerate and or degrade, and it doesn't sound that great. So what this plugin does is basically, now that everything's back to normal, what this plugin does is it tonally shapes the sound. So I'll explain some of the features of the actual plugin. So basically on here, we have the frequency bands that we can raise. So we can see a little keyboard down here. So if we know that this kick is in F, let's just turn this off right now. If we know that this kick's in G. So we know this kicks in G. So we can just go to the G here, and that's where the fundamental frequency is. And then these are other G's going up on the octave. Now what's cool about this plugin is that you can increase the band. So basically you can increase the frequencies as it goes up. And then it also has this thing where it's blending, so it'll blend like odd and even frequencies that are harmonious, so that you can just increase the characteristic of the sound. Now, I've messed around with it, and it's not amazing at switching the pitch of the kick drum, but what it will do is it will gel it better into your mix. Because if we grab another analyzer over here and put the spectrum on it, And if we drop this note down to F, so basically I'm going to find the F, that's the note that I want, and I'm going to increase the Q of this. And then, or sorry, increase the gain of this. And then I can dial in the Q. The kind of higher I go with the Q, the more it turns into an 808. And the lower the Q, the shorter it gets. So we'll bring it back to the end. But it doesn't actually change the note of the kick, like we're still sitting at G here. So what I've found with this, where it's really good, is if you have a kick that isn't in the root note, but you want to gel it together better with the track, that is where this thing will come in and shine. Now, this thing also has reductive EQ, so you could find the note of the G where you didn't, the initial kick, sound of the kick, note of the kick, and take that out. And then increase the kick sound that you do want. But again, I'm not into super duper reductive EQ. I also like to find kicks that are in the key of the track. So what I have shown here is this is a song that I made. It's a slap house song with my friends, Two Crimes. This song, it should be out right now. And basically I have this song. I'll play you a little snippet of the drop. So that's the snippet of the drop. Now with the kick, so I can see the kick is hitting at A or G sharp or A. Let's make it big. So it's hitting at G sharp. And this is G sharp's kind of on the higher range of the kick spectrum. So what I like to do here, this kick and this bass, they sound good together. But the bass is in E, so it's a little bit lower. So when I go into here, what I would do is I would turn on Knocktonal, and I've already kind of done this to mess around with things. But basically, I would find the root note of the track, so I would be like, okay, this is in E, and then I'll reset all these parameters. Then I start increasing this. So we're increasing the fundamental frequencies, and then the rest of the frequencies, the supplemental frequencies. And then as I dial back the Q, remember I said this, turning it all the way to the right kind of turns into like an 808 kind of sound, which is not what we want here. So what I did was I bred out the other way. So I'll play it before, and then about a bar in, I'll switch it, and you'll hear the gelling of the kick into the bass, and the kick will start to just kind of become one with the bass, as opposed to it being another just like a kick and a bass, and they're kind of put together. When this is bypassed, this really just shows that it just sounds like a kick by itself, and it's kind of like not part of the mix. But when I turn this on and when I dial in these parameters, so basically I'm turning the Q all the way to the left, kind of increasing more of the fundamental frequencies of the E note, and then that really increases the cohesiveness of that, and then the song being in E minor. So that's how I would use it in a song. And like this song, if you are interested, I have a free download of the sample pack, which includes like the bass shots, all the individual shots, claps, hi-hats, snares, drum fills, horns, all that. And I've also included the Slap House MIDI rhythm. So I've done another video talking about the rhythms of Slap House's bass, and I have that in here as well. So you can just download that, slap it into your song, and you'll have a Slap House bass rhythm. Now, Also, if you're interested, I have a full mixing and mastering free bootcamp. So I mixed down this entire song from start to finish using only stock plugins. And you can go over to FinishBetterMusic.com and or there's a link down in the description below to this video. It basically teaches you how, when, and where to use the right plugins, why a mixing plan is critical, the power of gain staging, how to process individual sounds, how to get a tight low end, and our mastering chain, which you can also download once you get access to the course, which is 100% free. Okay, now I'm going to show you exactly how I would use this plugin, probably the most frequent way that I'm going to use this plugin, because this would be nice to gel things together, but I just thought this was super duper cool, and that is using it on the bass. So I just have a serum patch here, and I have a little kick just with it as well. Let's listen to this. Now let's loop this section right here. Okay, so I just have a simple bass note. This is just jumping octaves. So this is going E, 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 E. Now I do have a side chain on there. Now where this thing comes in is if you have a bass line with this, like this, I can find the fundamental frequency, so I can see that the main bass note is hitting on the E here at 41. But if I want to increase some of these other frequencies, because this basically everything above here, about 100 hertz, you can hear way more clearly on laptop speakers and earbuds. So you want your bass to be present. So in here, what I did is I just basically found the fundamental frequency, which was the F. I went up an octave to another F. I increased the gain to about 5 dB. And then I also turn on overtones, because when you have overtones turned on, it will basically have as many tones as you want coming in after that. But I've narrowed it down just to 2 tones. I could do 1 or 2 tones, so that when I listen to this now, I'll turn it on, I'll play it through it once, then I'll turn it on, and really focus your attention on the upper frequencies. Now to make this easier to hear, I'll turn off Kickstart, and then I'll A/B it with Nocturnal. And we can really hear that upper frequency. Now I would even maybe go down even to 2 bands. And because these are octaves, it's just jumping up 1 octave, so we're still staying in the key here. Oh, I actually had it on the F, so we need to actually have it on the E. Now, if you had a melody happening, so if you were like dun 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 dun, you can actually also. This is actually pretty cool. The plugin was definitely not intended for this, but I think it's just such a cool little way to do it. So if I went the G here, then I can also just have an external instrument here. So at Ableton, I just grab an external instrument. I set it to the MIDI file. So basically, I'm going to copy this MIDI here, and I'm going to send it to, right now I had it to the kick. I'm going to send it to this serum at the end here. And I'm going to put it on Nocturnal. So now that every time this note changes, it's going to change with the notes. Now I am going to drop it down an octave because I want it lower. Now the difference is subtle because the main area is right here in the sub note, but if I push it really, really high, and you're just getting the fundamental frequencies of the sound, so it's actually being really, really, really like tightly dialed in within the key. And then obviously you can dial this in even more. Like, look how fat that's getting. That is getting super duper duper fat. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be using this plugin for. I know it was definitely intended to be a kick plugin, and it's great for gelling things together with your song. I could see lots of hip hop producers really being utilizing this a lot because of the subs and the 808s, and how the subs usually like jump an octave within the like, what's it called, like hip-hop music and trap and stuff like that. But for me, I'm definitely going to be using it like this. So now if we listen to this with the bass, turn on kickstart, boom, sounding fat. Now, if you'd like help one-on-one to me to help you show you exactly how to create, mix, and master a song, you can also go head on over to FinishBetterMusic.com, and we have you can sign up for a free strategy session. And on that session, we'll provide you with feedback on one of your songs. We'll analyze your production methods and define any areas that you need improvement. We'll answer any questions you have about music production or the mentoring program, and we'll provide you with a custom blueprint to help finish your music. Again, that's just FinishBetterMusic.com, and that's also where you will find this free mixing and mastering bootcamp, and you can download in the link description below. You can find the access to this, and you can also find this Slap House sample pack. So I hope you got something from this. I'm excited to use this on my basses in the future, and I hope you are too. Okay, until next time, peace.
Hi, so I'm doing a little review and testimonial about the Finish Better Music mentoring program. I just completed it. I finished 4 tracks. I'm really happy with the result of the tracks I did. The method Thomas uses is pretty simple, but very effective. I've done a lot of courses before, but this is by like far the course that progressed like my music the most, and Thomas was really helpful. You can always reach out to him, and he answers immediately in very effective manner. And yeah, just go for it. If you feel like you really want to go serious about your music, do the investment, and I definitely recommend it to anyone.